Kane was one of the more influential parts of the early 2000s, and today, here in this video, we are going to be looking at what would happen if Kane won the Madison Square Garden match against Triple H and won the World Heavyweight title. We are going to look back and kind of see what would happen if that occurrence did happen in today's video. If you do enjoy these type of videos, don't forget to smash the like button, comment and subscribe. We're going to get into the video now. So we start off on June 23rd, 2003, Madison Square Garden. The real timeline. This was the night Kane lost his mask and some of his aura, but in this timeline, the Big Red Machine just doesn't stay masked. He becomes the most dominant World Heavyweight Champion potentially in history, as Triple H, who, has been known, in 2003 to have a reign of terror. At this point, it was at its peak, and the fans were very desperate for, a new hero, or maybe potentially an even better villain. By keeping the mask on Kane, we just don't save the character, we create potentially one of the best final bosses for the Ruthless Aggression era. And during this, Triple H, was trying to sneak out a victory with Ric Flair, but got chokeslammed through the announce table, and then Kane hit a nice sidewalk slam and then hit his signature brother's throat slash and then a tombstone pile driver, and the referee counted 2-3, and Kane is the new World Heavyweight Champion, and he keeps his mask and becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion here in Madison Square Garden. The referee was taken out, and there was a replacement referee who counted it, but the actual official who just gave him the belt was the actual referee in charge. And then the next few weeks, we kind of see Batista and we see Triple H laid out, and we really have no clue what happened. So Eric Bischoff made a #1 contenders match. It was Goldberg. And here's the thing about Goldberg. Goldberg, at this point was one of the most unstoppable forces, in Monday Night Raw. I mean, a potential clash with Kane could be like one of the most kind of preeminent matches, to see on, the SummerSlam card. And his opponent was Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels and Goldberg clashing for the #1 contendership. And I mean, Shawn Michaels, again, he is one of the more, he's one of the more gutsy performers of all time. I mean, a match between Kane and Shawn Michaels would be a battle of, kind of like the Attitude Era. They never really got to face off, but Shawn Michaels hit a massive elbow drop on Goldberg, but only got a 2 count. And then Shawn tuned up the band, looking to potentially seal his #1 contendership against Kane at SummerSlam, but only got a 2 count. And Shawn was very disappointed in that. But then Goldberg countered another super kick and hit a spear and then the jackhammer. And Goldberg was able to secure a shot at the Big Red Monster, Kane. And I mean, Kane and Goldberg at SummerSlam, definitely a clash that, it would be the battle of the behemoths, the battle of the monsters, the battle of the unstoppable forces. But I mean, in the next few weeks, we saw, Goldberg getting a 1-up on Kane. I mean, he got a 1-up on Kane, hitting a jackhammer on Kane, and, taunting from the stage. Goldberg said that he was next. Did Kane, hit a choke slam, sending a message to him before SummerSlam? But now it is going to be the SummerSlam clash. Goldberg and Kane for the World Heavyweight title. Two men who, you didn't really see facing off around this time when Kane, in an alternate universe, Kane, was unmasked. He did face Goldberg, but it didn't happen the way that it is happening here in this video. Kane, again, this is a battle between who is better. Is it Goldberg? Is it Kane? Kane has had a lot of, experiences battling monsters in the past. Big Show, quite a few different monsters. And in this match, Goldberg would nail a spear on Kane. It was kind of a, short, maybe 8 to 10 minute match. Goldberg hitting the jackhammer on Kane and lifting him up, jackhammering him, and then he goes for the cover, but only gets a 2 count. Not many people kicked out of the jackhammer around this time. But then Kane hits a vicious sidewalk slam. And then Kane goes for a big boot, counters a spear too, and then switches it over, goes back to that signature big boot, connects with that big boot, and then lifts up Goldberg and nails a vicious choke slam. And the referee counts 2-3, and Kane is still the World Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam. Unbelievable. That was just unreal. Kane able to retain against Goldberg. Kane sends another statement. Then we move on to Unforgiven, where Kevin Nash trying to redeem his best friend Shawn Michaels after being attacked by the Big Red Monster. Kane had attacked Shawn previously before this, and Kevin Nash was just not having it. Kevin Nash was pissed off. Kevin Nash challenged Kane to a no disqualification match. He said he didn't care if he wanted to put the title on the line. He just wanted to beat Kane for his best friend. And Kane gladly accepted the challenge for Unforgiven. Kane goes into this matchup, and Kane was very much prepared for somebody like Kevin Nash. He was very much prepared, and Kane, vicious as ever. It was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Kevin Nash, though, did get a jackknife powerbomb on Kane. Kane not really been seen as vulnerable really during this reign, but it was only a 2 count, and Kane just absolutely, Kane with a choke slam through a flaming table too, but it was only a 2 count. And the Kane kind of seeing a little bit of self-doubt. Kane saw, maybe a little bit of flashes of something, but then Kane picked up the pace towards the end of the match. Kane was able to secure a choke slam on Kevin Nash, and Kane was able to retain the World Heavyweight Championship against Kevin Nash, a very gamed Kevin Nash too. And Kevin Nash, during this time period, he was challenging, around this time, was challenging Triple H for the belt. But this alternate timeline, he challenges Kane, and Kane comes out victorious in the Battle of the Monsters again. But then we go to Raw, where Shawn Michaels was able to win a #1 Contenders Battle Royal, and Shawn Michaels was able to secure his slot at the upcoming Royal Rumble 2004 pay-per-view. Shawn Michaels was able to defeat Batista, and he had a sweet chin music, and he was able to eliminate Batista and secure his slot at SummerSlam. But there was a little bit of a developing story. Kane, who recently had teamed up with Rob Van Dam, tossed him off of the kind of balcony. But at the Royal Rumble, The Undertaker reappeared, and The Undertaker come back at the Royal Rumble 2004 after being assaulted by Kane in the prior year, not at Survivor Series, but at SummerSlam, and he was confronting the Big Show. The final two were The Undertaker and the Big Show, and the Big Show tried to go for a choke slam automatically, but The Undertaker was able to clothesline him over the top rope, and The Undertaker was the 2004 Royal Rumble winner. And The Undertaker was able to go on to WrestleMania 20, and you already know where this is headed. He is going to be facing either the winner of Kane or Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels, speaking of Shawn Michaels had a last man standing match with the Big Red Monster Kane. And I mean, Shawn Michaels has a lot of heart. He has a lot of guts. He has a lot of determination. But Shawn Michaels was just pretty much, I mean, Shawn Michaels, even though he's gutsy, even though he has all the wherewithal to be in a last man standing match, I mean, by the time 2004 had started though, Kane had held the World Heavyweight title for almost 7 months. He had defeated the likes of Triple H, Goldberg, Kevin Nash, Rob Van Dam that he had took out, and now it could be potentially Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, though, was able to counter a chokeslam for the time being, but if he wins this match, could he potentially be one of the greatest champions in WWE history and still have the mask on? Shawn Michaels was able to hit multiple sweet chin musics during this contest, even busting open the Big Red Monster in the process. But Kane was able to hit a choke slam, and Kane was able to get the 10 count that was needed and granted him the victory in this last man standing match with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was just outmatched. I mean, he was outdone. But I mean, but Kane had kept sitting up during this match. He had kept giving Shawn everything he had, and he ended up retaining. Now we lead up, but you cannot run from the past forever. The Undertaker was coming for his brother. The Streak versus the World Heavyweight Championship. The Mask versus the Soul. Madison Square Garden was the call, and Madison Square Garden is where it started. This would be the Age of the Monsters. It was at its peak. WrestleMania 20. The world would find out, can you really kill what is already dead? This was the real version of Kane. Kane come in 97 with a mask. He is going to be defending the World Heavyweight title in a Hell in a Cell match against his brother. The Streak is on the line. The World Heavyweight title is on the line. Everything is at stake. The Undertaker, Kane, for another time for the World Heavyweight title. What a match that this was set to be. Hell in a Cell, where it all began for Kane. And Kane and The Undertaker would go back and forth with hits in this brutal Hell in a Cell match. They kept going back and forth. The Undertaker and Kane kept fighting and fighting. Eventually, something had to give. Someone had to get the upper hand. Someone had to, and The Undertaker was able to get the upper hand in this time frame. And then Kane was able to hit his clothesline, but then when he went for the choke slam, The Undertaker hit the last ride and then locked in a newer submission hold it was the Hell's Gate submission hold, which actually, again, in this alternate timeline, had never happened, and then Kane tapped out to the Undertaker, and the Undertaker become the World Heavyweight Champion with the streak still intact. And the Undertaker keeps his streak, wins the Hell in a Cell match. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope you enjoyed the rebooking, kind of Kane. If he had not lost his mask in 2003. I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and I hope you give me a like, and I hope you guys subscribe, and in the future there will be more videos like this. Peace out, guys.